We got pretty much what we expected today with a little pullback in the NASDAQ. Welcome to my daily review. Today is Tuesday, December 17th, and we're getting closer to the magical day, Christmas. Anyway, the NASDAQ fell 64 points, call it 65, 0.32% with 42% above average volume. So that's a distribution day on the NASDAQ. And what I mean by, we got what we expected is that yesterday the NASDAQ closed 6.6% above the 50. And we know every time it gets above that level, it gets a little wonky and the risk reward is just not there. And typically it pulls back. And today it pulled back to its 5 EMA, but it's still 6% above the 50. I expect, another day of selling, kind of like these 2 days we saw recently. Maybe something like this to kind of scare you out of your positions. But I do expect us to rally into the end of the year. Uh, Fed Chair Powell tomorrow is going to cut rates 0.25%, and I think he's going to stop there. But with that kind of backdrop, a strong economy and lowering rates, I think into the end of the year, the Nasdaq will, rally. I don't know how hard, but especially with it being 6% above the 50, but I think it goes higher. Today it closed at 20,109, so a couple of closes consecutively above the 20,000 level. You could see it just was an inside day today, despite being a distribution day. It just pulled back to that 5 EMA there. So I have some cocktail information for you. If you'd like to share cocktail information, if you're going out this weekend, you can tell your friends that the Dow Jones Industrial Average has been down. Count them now: 9 days in a row. It hasn't done that since 1978. So there you go. You can impress your friends that the Dow Jones pulled back to its 50 here and hasn't been down 9 consecutive days since 1978. So boo-hoo for the Dow. It hit the 45,000 level and then got rejected. Now it's pulled back to its 50. So down 267 points again, 0.61%, 15% above the average volume. So that's another distribution day for the Dow, which is, it's 30 stocks, but still it's 30 big stocks and it's a big index. Anyway, a price weighted index. Here's your market cap weighted index. And this is the S&P. Now, this one dipped below yesterday's low, and it was a distribution day with volume higher than yesterday. It was down 23.5 points to 0.39% and closed at 6,050. Yeah, there you can see the 15% above average volume. So this is, taking a beating. And then the Russell was down 28 points. This one looks like it's headed for its 50 as well, like the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Anyway, all right. You got the cocktail information. You got the skinny on the indexes. Now I want to go to Batman, my newly acclaimed acronym for our top 8 stocks. Broadcom. This is clearly a new leader here in the semiconductor space as NVIDIA's given up that mantle for now. Anyway, Broadcom had this big rally on Friday of 24%, 24.5%, and then rallied yesterday another 11. Only get back three, call it 4% today. That's an inside day. That looks like it's just biding time, waiting for this 5 EMA to catch up. So that looks like a pretty healthy day for the B in Batman is Broadcom. And then we have Apple. This one making new highs. I mean, if you just own Apple and Tesla, you're thinking like, what's this is nothing wrong with today's action. It looks perfectly fine. That one is making a new high. Tesla made a new high today as well. Um, this stock, despite making a new high, people are getting, oh, it's frothy and all that. What it's done here from that 414.50 from October of 21, it's been a 3-month base. I think it was November of 21, actually. A 3-month base, broke out of this base here just last week, and now follows through this week nicely. It's up 10% this week. But the move, from that 414.50 to the high today of 484, or four, and I think it was 483.99. That's a 17% move. And I told you I expected between 15 and 20. So maybe it'll go higher. Maybe it'll go up to 500. But for me, I mean, I think that it's probably going to, base out somewhere between, 500 and, 470, maybe a flat base, maybe 3 weeks tight. I'm not saying it's just going to form a big old, 6 month base. I don't think it's going to do that, but it will stall at some point. And maybe 500 will be the magic number, but nice day for Tesla. And my two M's here in Batman are Microsoft still looks great. Broke above that downtrend line and is trending nicely now. So yeah, right along with its five. So that's showing relative strength, that one, and then Meta Platforms as well. It just pulled back to its five. That's fine. You want to see leaders pulling back to moving averages. And then my two A's are Amazon and Alphabet. And this one just pulled back to its five. That's what you want to see. And this one here, Alphabet, it traded above 200 today and then pulled back. Looked like it got scared. It got the Matambo treatment at 200. Here it is in the morning. Looked like it was going to rally right through it. It made it up to like 202, 201.42. Okay. So that's a nice move, and then just sold off all day long and fell, 0.63%. So yeah, still well above its 5 EMA after that breakout from that cup with handle pattern. And then my N is NVIDIA, and this thing just cannot get out of its own way. Feel sorry for NVIDIA. Boo-hoo. It'll find a bottom here. I know that, so a lot of people are talking about it made a bottom here. It hit that low of 132 and then retested it there at 131.80. Retested again and undercut the low, and then closed right at about that 131 level. Yeah, 131 after hours. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that is the low and it'll rally back through the 50 now. Definitely, a lot of eyeballs on that one. All right, so those are my Batman stocks for today. So you got your cocktail information, you got your Batman. Now let's go to stocks showing relative strength. And I got to go to Dave. Dave's not home. No, it's me, it's Dave. Yeah, Dave's up nearly 2%, made another new high today. New highs in a week tape, obvious relative strength there. And you might look at that 103.72 as an area of interest. I don't know. That seems, in this type of a market where things are moving so fast that Dave making new highs, showing strength, that might be an area, like I say, an area of interest. Shopify showing relative strength as well. This one just formed this little shelf pattern here and then popped today nearly 3%. That one looks pretty good. SEC, and let me see this one. Yeah, it's just forming this little shelf. It looks a lot like Shop and popping off of its 21, but I want to see it get above the old high there. I think it's 119.72, something like that. On this day here. 119.47. Yeah. And it'll trade above 120 eventually, but you got to give it some time. Just, this is, what you call the volume contraction, right? Is it's tightening up here. I like the looks of SE, and it's going to pop one of these days, but not today, folks. OLLI. OLLI's our retail name. I'm not going to do sectors today. I'm just going through some relative strength stocks and then some leaders pulling back, and that's it for today. Yeah, OLLI 116.63 made a new high today. It gapped up last week after earnings, a nice 13% move, and now it's just surfing its 5 EMA. So OLLI looks pretty darn good too. DUOL, Duolingo, this one undercut its 21 and now rallied, popped nicely today. It was up higher, but let's see what happened today. I was looking at it earlier. I said, oh man, all these have. Okay, DOL right out of the gate here, up to 360, then pull back, close 354. So yeah. Oh well. Another one is TTD, the trade desk. I like the looks of this one as well as it pulled back, that bull wedge pattern, pulled back to its 21. Found support and popped today. That is popping in a tape like today. It was a pretty rough session today. A lot of stocks got hit pretty hard. SQ is block. This is another one with that, kind of bull wedge pattern as it pulls back to the 21, find support and balance. That one looks good as well. What are the ones we had? Oh, Planet Fitness, another one. PLNT. That makes a difference. The P makes a difference. Another one of these like shelf type patterns. So we're seeing a lot of this here. And yeah, I kind of like the looks of this one as well. Not going to put it on the ready list until the NASDAQ pulls back a little more because it's just the risk reward isn't there right now. There's too much risk and not enough reward, I should say. All right. SMLR. This is a um, it's a Bitcoin play masquerading as a medical product stock, and it's made a new high today. Once again, 79.45 looks like an area of interest here. It popped above it and then pulled back. See what that pullback looks like into the close. Yeah, some of these Bitcoin stocks did not do well today at all. Let me see MicroStrategy. Well, I'm going to digress a little bit. Yeah, this thing can't get off its 21, so no pop there. They're just having a hard time. BYRN, this is a security safety play like Axon. This one made a new high today. Speaking of Axon, how's it doing since the inclusion of the NASDAQ 100? Okay. I think that goes in the 23rd, which will be next Monday before the market opens. And the last one is Cloudflare and Net. It was upgraded today, made a new high, popped nicely off the 5 there. So we got and if you look at the weekly chart here, this is a nice, stage 2 base that it popped out of, and now it's trending higher. So Cloudflare looks good. Anyway, that's it for the relative strength stocks. I want to look at some of the leading stocks and how they're responding to this pullback today. And this is Reddit, obvious leader here, doing nothing wrong. Pull back to its 5. I know it sucks. It was down 5%, but that's what happens with these stocks that go up a lot, they come down too. So just pulling back to the 5. But what you want to see here is it find support at the 5. It doesn't have to bounce crazy. Just, have an inside day and just find support there, not pull back below, the 5 down near the 21. That would not be good for Reddit. So it's definitely one that I'm watching this week. ALAB, another one of these leading stocks, pulled back to its 5 and found support. Let me see what this looks like today. This is the second day in a row. Yeah, it found some buyers here as it really sold off hard in the morning. Like the first hour, I would say that's yeah, first hour into the it was 124.51. So any buyers there? Yes, there were buyers that drove it higher. It actually went positive for the session. Sold off into the close, had some high volume there in the close. And I think that little bounce there, maybe it'll bode well for tomorrow. Remember, the stock has a clear pattern of just pulling back to MAs and finding support and bouncing, consistently doing this. This is one day in a bounce, and then it pulled back, and then one day in a bounce, and then 2 days now it's sold off. So let's see if ALAB can bounce tomorrow, find support there at that 5 and bounce tomorrow. Looking for that. GoDaddy is just kind of a quiet stock nobody talks about. Just pull back to its 5 today. It's fine. It looks fine to me. DoorDash, another one. Pull back to its 5. This one looks fine as well. If you own this, yeah, close exactly at the 5, 176.98. Yeah, 177 there for Dash. So that looks fine. But you look for them to find support there and bounce within the next couple of sessions here. We need a little bit of a bounce. This is Decker's, another one. Close 1.3% above the 5. This thing looks fantastic. If you look at the weekly chart here, that's a thing of beauty. The cup with handle, the breakout. It's been up quite a few weeks in a row now here. So Decker's just, yeah, grinding higher, and that's kind of what it does. RBRK, this is a software name that broke out maybe 2 weeks ago. Wasn't last week, was it? I think it was like at the end of the week, the prior week on the 6th. And then it just keeps making higher lows, pulled back to the 5 on this day, and then got a nice bounce on Monday, and then back to the 5 today, closed 1.2% above the 5. So Rubric looks pretty good. Bros, Dutch Bros, another one that's, in that retail restaurant. We saw Kava crash and burn. I'm gonna show this one because this is a leader that's giving it up, and with NVIDIA giving it up, MicroStrategy giving it up, Kava, some of these leaders are, they're giving it up. So just taking note and not pressing the alarm button, just taking note that some other stocks are taking leadership, including Bros, and Brinker's been a leading stock. Pull back to the 21, but today closed 2.2% above the 5, so that's showing some strength there. Nice pullback to moving average. Carvana, another one of these retail names, pull back, closed just a tick above its 5, so that's fine. In a strong market, strong, leading stocks are going to pull back, to their 5. What you want to see is some buying support, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm just highlighting a couple of these names. I'm going to go down the negative road now because I'm really surprised about how some of these data center power plays are getting just sold. I thought this has been the one of the leading. Now I've got to check the S&P, but it was a leading stock in the S&P, and you think, hey, this thing's going to be, bought into the year end. It's got to be on the books. Institutions don't want to sell because they got to pay taxes on it. Well, BS. They are selling. This one's down to its 50. Maybe it'll bounce there, maybe not. It's a second trip to the 50 cents to break out from that 107 base back here. So keeping an eye on these. GEV is holding up better than most. Still undercut the 21 today. Closed 1.3% below the 21. Constellation, another one of these plays that, wow, yeah, slice the 50, and that's why we sell them when they slice the 50. Okay. And then Talon, that one looks bad. Not too hot either. Yeah, the power plays, yeah, below the 21. Sterling is another one. Yeah, below the 50 now. And then power, gonna have to take that one off the leading stock list. So pull back to the 50, found support, and now closed today right at its 5. So power, definitely a leading stock and a strong stock at the 5. So anyway, that's it for me, except for in honor of the great Steve Jobs. I have one more thing to say, and that's I think we're getting a little late in this rally here. Not causing any alarm saying we're going to crash or anything. I just think that it's getting time to pull back. When you start seeing these low budget, low really speculative plays with no sales, ripping like this is kind of a sign that you get towards the end and not the beginning of a I don't want to say a bull market, an uptrend. So I'm not calling for the end of the rally. It's probably a correction or something. Maybe we're in the eighth inning. It's not two outs in the ninth, but we're getting there. When you see stuff like this, quantum computing stocks are these are trading like the SPACs did back in 2021, up 50% in a day. And let's go to the weekly. I mean, these things are up 150% this week. I don't own them. And I'm not jealous, if you do own them, congratulations. I mean, I do know some people are buying these, but I'd stay away from stuff like this because I know they fall fast. This is a D-Wave Quantum is up only 16% today, total laggard, up 68% on the week. Rigetti is another one, up a lot today, 55% this week. These things it's just going up on fumes. They got 2.5 million, 10 million in sales a year. And these market caps are in the over 2 billion. I mean, a couple hundred, times sales. So just pointing this out, ARQQ, all of the quantum stocks, this one is only up 39% this week, total laggard. But anyway, just pointing that out. If you own those, fine. Just know that they're gonna one day, they're gonna crash. This is what I'm looking for. This is to me, this is a leader, is the first one out, and it's making new highs. But when this one starts to give it up, then those other little babies will probably give it up as well. This one now has nearly a 10 billion market cap with about, I don't want to say maybe 50 million in sales. So you do the math on that. I mean, what is it? Over 500 times sales. So this is getting a little out of control here, but like I say, this could go to 100, before it crashes. So just keeping an open mind, just pointing out the strength here, and just pointing out that this is kind of like I'm not going to say at the end, but this is what you see, towards the end. This is late stage bull market action. How about that? Anyway, that's it for me. Hopefully tomorrow, well, I think we're going to sell off some more. That would be my expectation because Powell is going to lower interest rates, and I think he's going to indicate that they're going to pause. I don't know. The market's expecting a rate cut. They're going to get it. And, with the economy pretty strong, earnings are pretty strong, you're getting lower interest rates. I think the market's just going to rally into the year end, and maybe it'll trade above that 6% area for a little bit. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. We take it one day at a time. We keep an open mind. We remain flexible. And if your stocks are doing weird stuff and stopping you out, then that's telling you something that it's stay out. You don't want to make new buys right now. It's just too risky. New buys are way too tough. You may want to add on to something that's pulling back to a moving average. If your stock, if you own this and it pulls back, you say, hey, maybe it's an add-on point, maybe that. But new buys are just really tough right now. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up.